Hello, my name's Sue. I work at Wisbeach Library, and today I'm going to show you how to make these lovely flowers that I'm hiding behind here. So we are going to need some coloured paper, different shades. They can be bright colours, light colours, like this. So coloured paper, a ruler, some straws or sticks that you can attach your flowers to, some glue, some tape. I've got double-sided tape here, which is quite useful, some scissors. And the other thing you're going to need is something to put your flowers in. So I've used tin cans, which I've covered in wool. I just wrapped wool around them. And then something for your flowers to stand in so that they stand upright. You could use sand. If you've got some sand, you could fill the pot with sand, and then just stick the straws in. I used Oasis, which is something that you find in craft shops. It looks like this, and I just stuck mine in the bottom of the tin like that, and then you can stick your flowers into that. Or plasticine would work. Play-doh might work. Something that you can just, so that the stems will stay in and not fall over. So when you've got all your bits together, then you can start making your flowers. So the first flower I'm going to show you how to do is this one here, which is quite simply looping bits of paper. So what you need to do is to cut out as many petals that you want to make. So what I'm going to show you is how to do this one here. It's so I've used 5 bigger petals and then 5 smaller ones like this, and you could add even more to make it effective. So all you do is you cut out strips. Doesn't matter what size, doesn't matter how wide they are, as long as they're all the same length for the flower that you're doing. And then you fold them over and stick them at the end like that. Now you can use double-sided tape. I'm just going to show you with a bit of glue here. Put some glue on the end, and then you pinch it together like that, and that's your petal. So it's very easy. And then you cut out a piece of card for your centre of your flower, cover that in glue like that, and start to attach your petals. So put one there like that, and then you just build up and add all the other ones as you go round. And then when you want to start adding smaller ones, you probably add some more glue to the top, and then put those in between. And that really, it's as simple as that for that particular one, until you end up with this. As I said, you could add more decoration in between if you wanted to, just some straight pieces like that, or you could do more, another colour doubled over in between. You just keep layering it up and sticking them onto the centre. And then to make the stalk, the stem, I just pushed a straw in like that, and then covered it with another centre over the top, so that you end up with a flower like that. So that can then be stuck into your Oasis in your pot like that. I think they make a very fun flower, that one. Right, now the next one I'm going to show you involves some paper folding. So let's have a go. So you need a piece of square paper, all sides the same. So I'm making a quite a large one here, so it will be this size like this. But again, you can make them as big and small as you want. So you start off with your square and you fold it into a triangle. You do one, and then you fold it into another triangle. Number two, make sure you keep the edges nice like that. Two, and then again, like that. So that's three. You fold it 3 times. Now I'm holding it at the tip, the bottom tip, like this. I've got my long edge here, which is where all the folds are, and I've got my open edges at the top. Now the next thing you're going to do is you're going to bring this top here, and you're going to bring it across to meet the other edge, the long edge. And you just push it down. So you end up with that shape like that. Now what you're going to do is you're going to cut just across, just the top of that edge there, and you're going to snip this off. So you take your scissors and then just cut along the top like that. So, and you end up with a cone. And the last thing you need to do, so you're going to draw, so you've got your shape like this. You're going to draw from this edge corner down to here a petal shape. I'll draw it and then I'll show you. There. Like that. And now you're going to cut that line. And then you open it up carefully. And you can see you're starting to get your flower. And there's your flower shape, like that. Now, I made this one before. Now what you can do is you can, if you have double, so these are 2 that I've cut out, and then arrange them so that you've got all the tips showing like that. Makes a lovely flower. So we could do that with this one. So I cut out a pink one earlier and gave it a centre. Now I'm going to put some glue in the centre of that orange, like that. And I'm going to take my pink paper. Now I'm going to position it so that the orange is in between the pink. You stick that down and you end up with that effect. And they do look very pretty when you've got them all together like this. So it's quite an easy one to do, and you can make them in any size. So this one here, I made a smaller one, like that. And then you just can attach your straw or your stick on the back. So I'm going to use, I've got a little bit of tape here. I think I'll use that just to stick it down. Oops. Down. Stick it across the back. And then that's another one that you can pop in your pot. Oops, can't see it. There's 2 flowers. Okay, so the last flower I'm going to show you is this one, where they're like a fan shape. And again, it's very easy. You need 4 pieces of paper cut into squares. Now they could all be the same size. You could have big ones, you could have small ones, you could have all the same colour. I've used 2 different colours because I think that looks nice. And then when you cut them out, if you put them all together like this and then fold them over the top, that gives you, so that you'll be, when you do your concertina folding, they'll all be the same. You have the same size. I'll just show you with this yellow one here. So you can see where I folded it. So all my folds are going to be that size. And it's just like making a paper fan, which I'm sure you've all done. And keep going, backwards and forwards, until you get to the end. There we go. Now, if you get to the end and you've got a little bit left over, you can just trim that off. It's not a problem. So you end up with a strip like that. The next thing you do is you fold it in half, like that. And now you need to stick the 2 together. So get your glue, run the glue along the edge like that. Push them together, and there we have one of your fans. And you, as I said, you need 4 of these to make your flower. When you've got all 4, then you stick along the edges and stick them all together like this. So you stick this edge, this edge, this edge, and that edge. And then you just need a centre for your flower. I've used a pom-pom, but you could cut out a piece of yellow paper or whatever colour you want to have for your centre. And then attach your stem. So I'm going to pop a bit of glue into one of the pleats at the back. Pop my straw in there. And just squeeze it together. Sometimes a bit of tape is better because it helps to stick it in, but that's just to show you. And then that's another one that you can add to your collection. So you start to build up all your different flowers. Now another way you can display your flowers is to put them into a picture. And what I've done here is I've made small versions of all the flowers that I've showed you. I found a template for a basket, which I cut out and then stuck to my card, and then stuck my flowers along like that. So you end up with a basket of flowers. And that's another picture that you could do. And I cut out, makes a pretty picture. But pots of flowers do look very effective. So why not have a go and fill your house with flowers. Okay, have fun. Bye-bye.